Alright guys, it's that time again. Welcome back to the Adam Show. So today I'm testing out the Orks at 1350, gradually working my way up. What do I have in the list today? So, as always, a battalion. What's leading the battalion? First off, I'm using this out of the index. Big Mac, custom force field bike kill saw. And this will be the Warlord. So we got War Boss, Power Claw. That's going to be used as the Gobsmack shooter, and he's also going to have the best armor Teeth can buy, so all the Bad Moons upgrades. Then for troops, we got 1, 2 shooter boy squads in trucks. Those are both armed with, the trucks are all armed with rockets too, out of the index now. And those two units have rocket in the squad and Knob with combi rocket and power claw. So they'll just drive around shooting out rockets and shooting out things till their truck gets wrecked. Probably use the stratagem like I did last week to give them the +1 armor. Alright, third troop up the front, 30 shooter boys strong. In that 30 shooter boys there is 3 rockets and a Knob with a rocket. Alright, new additions to the army. So here in the middle I'm painting up a 10-man unit of Knobs with Slugger and Chopper. No upgrades, so just cheap 140 points. Before I had Slugger boys with the War Boss in the truck. Decided to paint him up a proper war band of 10 Knobs. So during battle, you know, I think they got 40 strength, 5 attacks, plus their shooting, 4 up armor, 2 wounds apiece. I just thought their bare bones was good. They're also in a truck with a rocket. Next adding in is we're going with the burner bomber, all the upgrades. I just want to try it out. I just like the idea of an Ork flyer with bombs and DACA coming off it everywhere, burning people up. And then last in the army, 1, 2, 3 custom made. I can use them as anything I want, but I'm using them out of the index as just the war buggy with the rack of rockets. 50 points for 2 rockets each. I think that's good, and they can outflank and all that jazz. I actually think points cost wise that's better than any of the new vehicles. That's just me, but whatever. So tactics wise, obviously we got the Big Mac. He'll give a force field to the trucks as they advance. Also you can jump in on the combat. The 2 trucks with the shooter boys will be designed to go off and take objectives as needed. And then the big 30-man unit is designed, he'll just march straight up the middle and provide firepower. Probably use the, what's it called? Unstoppable Green Tide stratagem on him if I can. Bring him in on another table edge, 3 command points. Obviously this comes in at 8 command points at this point. So this is 1350, few new additions, a flyer, Big Mac instead of 2 war bosses. Knobs, and we got some buggies, so we're still going with a reasonably fast army. Last time I found that the reroll 1s was really good army wide, so all my boys moving forward will always have shooters. I'll never have slugger choppers, and if I'm looking for that extra punch in combat, I'll be moving towards more units of bare bones Knobs. I think they overall will do a better job than boys, just being extra strength, extra toughness, extra all that jazz. Alright. So I'll get down the club and I'll see who my opponent is and we'll go from there. Alright guys. Alright, so I'm down here with my opponent. It turns out I'm playing Gav's Dark Elder again. So, what coven did you say these are?
Prophets of Flesh.
Prophets of Flesh, and what does that give them?
The Prophets of Flesh gets +1 on their invul.
Yep.
Those guys. That's Cabal of the Flayed Skull.
Yep. And then you got 3 Ravagers back here.
Yeah, with an Archon that is the Black Heart.
Yep. So that gives you another command point. And then you got Talos in the middle.
Yeah, he's with these dudes.
What guns do these have?
Disintegrator cannons.
3 disintegrator cannons each?
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, and then you've got 1, 2, 3 Venoms with 3 Cabalite Warrior units just with a blaster in each.
Yep.
And 2 heavy splinter cannons on each of these.
Yep.
And then you got 2 Archons, 1 with a Huskblade, 1 with a blaster.
Yep.
And they're also in this Venom.
Yep.
So how many command points is that total?
9.
Alright. So this is going up against my Orks, so we will roll up a mission and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, so we've rolled up a mission called Resupply Drop. So we've got one objective here, one objective here, one here, one here. If we come around here, we've got one here, and I think there's another one somewhere underneath all this. Oh no, that's all of them. Alright, so for the setup, we got the Drukhari over here. So they're all huddled around here looking nice and red, pretty much in a sort of defensive manner. Everything's on the table, isn't it? Except for what's inside transports. So that's for them, and then for the Orks, if we come over here, we got a 30 boy squad and we've got the Big Mac in the middle to give them the save. Coming across here, we've got a shooter boy squad in a truck, shooter boy squad in a truck, and then we got the burner bomber, and then in reserve, three buggies with the rocket racks and the war boss in his truck. I've paid the 2 command points. He's got 10 knobs in there, so they're going to come from the teleporter. Alright, I got the +1, so set up first. We'll see who's got the first turn. Or roll off. Here we go. Oh, see if I can seize the initiative, or it's going to be a Drukhari first turn. Nah. Alright, so Drukhari will have their first turn, beat up some Orks, and we'll get back to you. Alright, so everything in this army pretty straightforward except for this. Shot over here and took 5 wounds off this truck. Then everything else in his army focused over here and fired on this and reduced it down to this many guys. So that's the end of turn 1. They didn't get first blood or anything like that. So now we'll get on with the Ork turn 1 with our reduced models and see what we can do against all these flying red monstrosities. Alright. Alright guys, so Ork turn 1, we've pushed forward with the trucks and the flyer, and we scored first blood blowing up this, and then the Big Mac charged in and killed a couple of guys. But that's pretty much all we did for the first turn. So I think he wins shooting the first round, drilling these boys down to nothing, and then yeah, this. So scored 1 point. We'll see how it goes, and I'll get back to you after the end of Drukhari turn 2, and hopefully my fun will begin on turn 3. Well, alright, so end of Dark Elder turn 2, or Drukhari. He has pretty much shot the last of those boys that were there, killed my Big Mac, and blew up my burner bomber, so that's all I got on the table at the moment. It's looking a sad state of affairs, so this turn I get to bring in all my reserves and hopefully do something to these evil bastards. Shooting the crap out of me. Alright, I'll get back to you then in my turn 2. Alright guys, end of Orks turn 2. And it was a whopping turn. So the war boss and his unit come down in here. With his gob shot gun, the auto hitting one, he blew a venom up on his own with that. Range 12 is really good for when you deep strike in. Then we used the 3d6 charge into here. Didn't do a great deal. We took a few wounds off this, but it got us into where we need to be. And then there was some ridiculous firepower from this truck and these 3 buggies with rocket racks. We removed 2 Ravagers. He used a stratagem to make it -1 to hit, and I was just rolling 6s on fire and then daka, re-roll 1s, and end up doing 15 wounds on the first Ravager, and then the second one was cleaned up by the other rockets out of the trucks. It got a bit silly. But we really turned the battle around here. We kind of got him surrounded. They've still got some good firepower, but he's down to 1 Ravager and majority racks. But he's also got his characters in there that can fight. So we will let Gav have his turn 3 and see what he can do with his evil Drukhari. Alright, end of Drukhari turn 3. So everything around here has picked on my war boss. They blew his truck up. The knobs got out. We used the stratagem to get +1 armor. It wasn't enough because this Ravager here just unloaded. AP3, 2 damage apiece, just wiped the knobs out. So probably should have focused more on that. We might have had some more, but that's okay. Moving across here, not a lot else happened except for
So like I
the
boys, so that
objectives that were here,
if he piled in, then do
and where was the other? Did that one burn as well? How come that's back?
No, that's one of the three. So 1, 2, 3. Now it's start of your turn. That's the alpha. That has to stay there.
Alright, so the objective that was here burnt. And yeah, so he's flying over here. And he took a wound off here. So it was a bit of a smash back in my face. So we've still got some orky stuff on the table. So see what my war boss can do and the rest of these boys in the trucks. Get back to the end of my turn 3. Alright, so the enemy orc turn 3. We've scorched all the objectives, leaving only this one here, which is on the Drukhari side, and then this one over here, which is on the very other side of the board, which I'm slowly backing away into. Beep, beep. But I think 2 turns in a row I've rolled 1 for advance, and because I'm half damage, I'm only moving at about 9. Okay, so as far as the battle goes for my turn, the rocket buggies rolled over here and took this thing down to 1 wound. They're doing brilliant at killing vehicles. Couldn't have asked more there. This thing didn't do anything because these guys got out and it retreated away and they charged in, wiped out a unit. The orc war boss swung away, 4 hits, 4 wounds, and he rolled 4 saves. So great. Alright. So at the end of this, he's going to have his turn 4. He's still got a few numbers on the field and we'll see what he can do. Alright. Alright, so down here, between some shooting and a Talos and an Archon, my war boss got his head solidly kicked in. These guys are over here, holding this objective with little rat guys everywhere. Nah, I shouldn't call him that, it's just me getting nasty because he's killing my guys. Right, over here though, he blew the crap out of these. There's 1 knob left. He's got 2 Archons in here, and he's got another one here. So pretty much I need to get over here and hold this for a draw of the game unless I can kill his warlord in the process as well and I'll win by 1 point. Let's see if that's a possibility. Alright, I have my turn 4. Alright, end of turn, orc turn 4. So to secure some points, the guys have jumped back in this truck. So these guys are just sitting here so we know how many are in there. And that's line breaker. Over here we can't do anything here. Come across here. The combined power of rockets got this down to 1 wound. This knob, believe it or not, ran 11 inches across from cover to cover, fired a rocket into him, took a heap of damage off. These guys over here fired a heap of rockets in, but they missed every one of them, I think, actually. Because I should have just rolled them all together. That's the power of it, but I didn't. Anyway, Gav will have his turn 5, and we'll see where this goes. Not looking good for the Orks, but it's not looking so great for them either. Alright, so last of the Drukhari turn, and last turn for the game for them. They haven't managed to remove me here. We're still in here with line breaker, so that's the point. But he's held this over here, and I'm not getting him off it. So, if we go across here, pretty much how this has got to go down is all the boys and knobs that were there are gone. I got these 3 trucks. I need to come over here and blow his shit off there, or at least get on there and contest him with trucks, and then it's a tie. If I can't get over there, he wins the game. Alright, I'll get back to you at the end of my last orc turn.
Oh, hang on.
Alright, so here it is. The end of the battle. It is a draw. So, he killed my warlord, I got first blood, but I've got line breaker, he's got line breaker, and we're both holding an objective, so he's absolutely owning this one. And then over here, I managed to drive over, blows up, and get close enough to have 3 of my buggies on the objective, which outnumbers his 2, because neither of us are troops, which is the end of the game. You got anything you want to add, Gav?
That was epic.
It was epic, guys. A really good game, good matchup.
Yeah.
I think these buggies, I'll give man of the match for my army, easily. They just kept churning through everything. What do you reckon was the best thing in your army, mate?
Probably disintegrator.
Yeah, these Ravagers with disintegrators, when there was 3 of them at full strength, just annihilated to there. Alright, if you enjoyed the battle report, like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll get back to you with some more action. Enjoy your evening.